Hello everyone and welcome to my TERA Fate of Our Own and Endgame PVE Archer Guide. In this video I'll be going over my own rotation that I use and believe that it is the best DPS rotation for an Archer class. It's pretty simple and straightforward, and I'll also be going over my glyph setups just to give you guys an idea of what I used, what I have glyphed. So just for my rotation, just to give you guys a little idea. I'm just gonna bring that up. Yep, here we go. Okay, I have been requested by some people on my server, I play on Ascension Volley, to make an Archer guide, just to give them a little idea about what my rotation is. So we have Radiant Arrow, eliminates slowed movement restriction, just the basic stuff, beautiful, you want to have that always. Penetrating Arrow, same thing goes for that as well, eliminates slowed movement restriction, you want to have that as well. These two are essential, as well as Rain of Arrows or Glyphs are essentials as well, just for this rotation I'm going to show you guys. So Penetrating Arrow, we have increases skill damage by 25%, which is beautiful because Penetrating Arrow is one of the best DPS skills for Archer class. It actually says base damage is lower than Thunderbolt, but it actually hits harder than Thunderbolt. So we have Rain of Arrows, decreases cooldown by 25%, increases skill damage by 25%, and increased attack speed of Rain of Arrows by 40%. Useful stuff. You need this, you need all of this. As an archer, you need all of them. For my rotation specifically, you need all of them. You have Backstep. Energetic Backstep, glyphed, decreases cooldown by 29%, which allows you to drop your cooldown from 7 seconds to 5 seconds, which is huge because this allows you to rearrange your position on your target, such that if you are using back crit crosses or Neviates, which are just the new things in this patch, it is such a good thing to have decreases cooldown by 29%. It allows you to move a lot faster around the room of the boss or of the target of your target or whatever. So quickly moving over, Relics Mark. I was not too sure about putting 3 points into this, but I had 3 extra points, so might as well say put them in there. What this does or makes Relics Marks to do, it is actually 35 seconds. It's only 35 seconds uptime on your target. So increases effect duration, makes it around 40 to 43 seconds, I believe. My rotation, it takes 15 to 17 seconds for me to cast, which is not actually enough to recycle 2 rotations in one Relics Mark. So that is why I put in 3 points in there, just to make it like 40-42 seconds uptime, so I could cast without spamming my Relics Mark in between my rotation. Hope you're getting what I'm going with it. We come down to Final Salvo. This is an essential for an archer. This is always got to be there. Speeds casting by 30% for Penetrating Arrow. Beautiful stuff. You always want to have it because you start off using Radiant Arrow and then you want to speeds casting your next move, so you use Final Salvo, and Final Salvo is beautiful because it cancels the animation after Radiant Arrow. So you cast your Penetrating Arrow. Penetrating Arrow is your most DPS skill, of course. If you get a back crit, beautiful. It's very useful. Final Salvo, very useful. I like it. I always have it. As an archer, you always want to have Sniper's Eye. Always want to have it on. Ensnaring Trap coming down to, I glyphed it with decreases target's endurance by 3.5% for 5 seconds. I will explain this a little bit because people think that it is not worth giving 5 points, 5 glyph points, where they could spend it on such as increases casting speed for Thunderbolt, because Thunderbolt takes like 3 seconds to cast without this glyph. Or they would want to use it somewhere else, like close quarters. Where was it? Increases effectuation. Oh no, not this one. Breakaway bolt. My bad. Sorry. So 100%. There was one, you get movement speed. That's the one. 30% chance to increase movement speed by 10 for 8 seconds while in combat. It says it's beautiful. I like it, but I don't use it. People mostly use it because they want to get out of the boss's radius if they're in there already. As an archer, it's really hard to move around while you have these skills, you know, while you're trying to charge it up or something, you know, you want to get out of the get away from the boss as fast as possible, because it could hit you, or it could cancel one of your skills while you're charging it. That is useful. I understand that, I do respect it, but this is how my rotation works, and Ensnaring Trap is my starter. And then I have Explosion Trap with increases skill damage by 35%, insanely good. I recommend it to everyone. Every single archer should use it. Thunderbolt coming down to, which is our new skill. For PVE, I use the increases skill damage by 20%, because I will explain this. What I've seen from the new patch so far, you have paragraphed bosses, mostly in Baptismal Rise and Ravenous Gorge as well. You have paragraph bosses, Ravenous Gorge, first boss, Monkey. Goes to the middle, knockdown phase comes. So in that knockdown phase, you won't need that speed casting. You'll need that more damage, because he's gonna be getting knocked down. Frangler, second boss in Ravenous Gorge. He's got a knockdown phase as well. Goes in the middle, charges at someone. If he hits a rock, gets knocked down. You wanna be using increases skill damage, not increases casting speed. Thunderbolt does have 50 seconds cooldown, so that is why it is not useful. Increases casting speed is never useful for this skill, in my opinion. Of course, I do respect everyone else's opinions, but this is what I think about it. I hope everyone understands that. Okay, so those are all the glyphs I have. Whatever I glyphed, I don't need to talk about anything else. This is what I think is useful for my rotation, for the best DPS rotation you could get as an archer. I will be going over explaining my rotation and how it works. My rotation requires nostrums. Nostrums are a must if you want to have the best DPS, as well as savagery. You want to have savagery if you're a DPS. If you're a DPS, you want to have savagery always, because you want a back crit. There's your back crits. 1.38 multiplier is huge. Starting with Ensnaring Trap. This is my combo starter. I was going to say this is my starter, but this is my rotation starter, combo starter, pretty basic. Decreases target's endurance by 3.55% for 5 seconds. In that 5 seconds, after casting Ensnaring Trap, I cast my Rain of Arrows. After casting my Rain of Arrows, I cast Explosion Trap. Okay? Rain of Arrows, in that 5 seconds, ticks about 3 to 4 times. I am not 100% sure about that. It could be 3, 4, I'm not too sure. But I think it hits for 4 times. So, if you're at the back of the target, you're going to be getting a lot of DPS out of that, because the endurance debuff, Rain of Arrows, a lot of DPS, and an Explosion Trap. Explosion Trap is basically an RNG thing. In my opinion, it sometimes crits, sometimes it doesn't crit. When it doesn't crit, it doesn't hit as hard as it crits. So it's very occasional to use, very specific situations there to use, but I always have it. I always use it right after my Rain of Arrows. So Ensnaring Trap with nostrums goes down to 12 seconds cooldown. Rain of Arrows, 25 seconds cooldown. It's already glyphed, so it's down to 18.8 seconds cooldown. With nostrums, it goes down to 16 seconds cooldown. Same thing, Explosion Trap, Ensnaring Trap, 12 seconds cooldowns, right? You have a 4 seconds cooldowns. No. Yes, 4 seconds gap cooldowns. So in that 4 seconds, you cast your Ensnaring Trap first, it's on 12 seconds cooldown. You cast your Rain of Arrows, it's on 16 seconds cooldown. And then you cast your Explosion Trap, it's on 12 seconds cooldown. You have 4 seconds cooldown gap in between your Ensnaring Trap and Rain of Arrows. After you cast these three, Ensnaring Trap, Rain of Arrows, Explosion Trap, you go to your normal moves, Radiant Arrow, into Final Salvo, and then into Penetrating Arrow. All you're left with is a bunch of cooldowns. But Ensnaring Trap, by the time you finish all this, is down to 6 seconds or 4 seconds, something like that. And then it could be less, of course, depending on how you arrange yourself to your target. If you want to get back crits while you're charging up your shots, your Radiant Arrow, your Penetrating Arrow, you want to move around a little, you want to overcharge a little, it all depends. But at the end, this is, for me, is down to 2 seconds cooldown when I'm done with my combo totally, because I do want to get back crits. Seeing back crits just amuses me. I don't know why, it's just how it is. So when this is down to 2 seconds cooldown, Rain of Arrows down to 6 seconds cooldown. So just to get rid of that gap, I use Arrow Volley. Arrow Volley is very basic. By the time you lock onto your target, by the time you shoot your Arrow Volley, your Ensnaring Trap will be up. Excuse me. Your Ensnaring Trap is up, you have 2 seconds cooldown left. This is what happens to me all the time whenever I use this rotation. 2 seconds cooldown on your Rain of Arrows when Ensnaring Trap is up after Arrow Volley. Ensnaring Trap, use your Ensnaring Trap, your Rain of Arrows is down to 1 second. You never have to wait for your skills to get off cooldown for this rotation. You can just cast Ensnaring Trap when Rain of Arrows is at 2 seconds cooldown, because by the time you pull out a trap and then charge it there, your Rain of Arrows is off cooldown. So you can just straight away use your Rain of Arrows, complete it with Explosion Trap, go back to your combo, Radiant Arrow, Final Salvo, Penetrating Arrow. I do think Thunderbolt, excuse me, somewhere between fits in my combo or rotation. But only when the bosses that we're facing is tanked by someone else, tanked by a group member, or just in some kind of paragraph that they're doing, like the second Frangula boss in Ravenous Gorge. He pulls out a breath, right? While he's pulling out that breath, you can just backstep through, charge your shot, take a shot at him with Thunderbolt. Do not forget, you can always backstep through the bosses if you're close enough. And another thing for archers, they don't need to be very far away from the bosses, from their targets, because if you're in 12 meters range to your target, 12 meters or low, you get 100% damage bonus. But if you're away from 12 meters to 20 meters, your damage decreases. That's the down part for archers. Another thing I'd like to point out is some people that they think this is not worth taking because decreased decreased target's endurance by 3.5% for 5 seconds is not worth. I could use that 5 points, as we can see, we give 5 points to this, 5 points into something else that will be useful, right? But put it this way, you have 3-man, 5-man, 10-man raids, parties at endgame, right? As an endgame archer, you would like to join them. When you join them, you have your priest, you have your mystic, warrior, lancer, and burst DPSs, slayers, zergs, sorks. All these classes, they all have different skills. They all use different skills. And for my studies, I found that best combo an archer could get is with a Zerker, Slayer, Sork, any of those 3 burst DPSs. You have to have a priest, Lancer and a Warrior. What this makes is that Warriors have 2 debuffs that they can put on your target. If this is in a boss fight, we are giving an example, okay? Combative Strike puts out a 4.5% endurance debuff on the target by Warrior. Warriors also have Traverse Cut, 11.05% if each hit takes place on the target. So that's already up to 15.05% endurance debuff on the target. Let's say you have a priest in your party. Priest puts out an endurance debuff which is 7.5%, triple nemesis. And then you have Debilitate from your Lancer. Basic explanation of this is insanely, just the debuffs are just insane from all your party members. You don't realize that your Ensnaring Trap does a lot of damage, but it actually helps your whole group, whole raid or whatever, as well as it's helping you and your damage. Debilitate, as I was saying, 9% debuff. You have Combative Strike, Traverse Cut, Triple Nemesis, Debilitate, and you put out an Ensnaring Trap. You have a total of 35.55% endurance debuff on your target, which is huge. All you want to do is, after that is done, of course, if your party members are experienced, you can have these debuffs in about every 15 seconds. Whenever they get off cooldown. Debilitate has like 4 seconds cooldown. Traverse Cut has, I think, 11 seconds cooldown. And these are all like achievable if your party members know what they're doing. This is for your benefit. That is why I use this rotation, because it is so flawless that every archer should know. For me at least, it is really flawless. It works like a charm. I love it. I always use it. And I think it's the best DPS for an archer class. This has been Potato Gen. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did like the video, please like and subscribe. I'll see you all until next time.